As you see, I'm making a lot of marketing from Mumbai
Exactly.
Records. Okay.
Of course, it's very important, and I'm waiting to receive my morning talks. The same. I do it with morning talks. It's not still here, but I'm waiting for it. So
No
very
problem.
important to
This
promote.
is AliExpress, €3. You got it.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Morning Talks. Today, I'm extremely happy to host ALEX Medina. Alex, good morning. Thanks to be here with me and with us.
Parsifal, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for the invitation to this Morning Talks. It's always a pleasure to speak about music, about life in general,
Exactly.
but mostly about music that we like. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks to accept my invitation. And
welcome. You're welcome.
Yes. So the first things I think it's important to ask, to know, it's how did you decide to be a part of this electronic music scene?
Well, I didn't decide. I mean, I fell in love. Well, I don't want to be too long, but yeah, I have in my family, I have a long history of music. Not because I have musicians at home, but my father was he was a wholesaler of the first turntables in Spain and in Canary Islands. So yeah,
Perfect.
He used to. Yeah, can you imagine? I have a I think you cannot see now, but yeah, I have like a wooden turntable from 1962. And yeah, so my father used to wholesale this. And my mother, she is a vinyl collector. Now, not that much, but she loved the music. My mother was younger, so she loved funky music and all this Boney M and all these hypes from that time. So I grew up with turntables and funky music at home. And then my mother plays a lot of music, a lot. So finally, you are in love with the music. And then one day I discovered in 91, I think, I went to a club and I discovered house music. And from that day, I said to myself, this is what I want. Of course, not only partying, but yes, I did party a lot and I'm super proud of that. But yeah, I fell in love with electronic music and yeah, first I start making music, playing music, and then I decide I want to know how you can make this music. So I bought my first Ableton Live 3.
Of course.
Can you imagine? Ableton Live 3, they were starting, and I have the box here like a treasure. And yeah, and finally I put all my energy into music and yeah, became a DJ and a producer. And finally, well, I don't know, someone decided that you are in the scene or not. But yeah, this is my background.
Okay.
And totally in love with electronic music since the early days. And the 90s was a really good time to fall in love with electronic music.
Of course.
Yeah, okay. And here in Canary Islands, because we are a touristic place, we have a lot of influence from Europe since the early days. For example, Amsterdam and all the Dutch people and the Germans in general, they bring the first house records, acid house, in the early 80s, 90s, beginning of 90s. So we have a big influence of acid house music from London and from Europe in general since the beginning. And in Canarias, even more than mainland Spain. I remember we used to have house music here, and in Madrid, they didn't know what was that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, they were more into techno, but the groove, the warm side of electronic music, Canary Islands was in the first place, like Ibiza, because we are islands with many influence from DJs and from people from everywhere. So yeah, this is the background, and yeah.
Okay, so nice to know. It's very, very interesting. And about your music and your way to create inspiration for you, is it something that you find or it's something that come to you? How do you feel this thing inspiration?
I mean, it's a bit difficult for me to reply that because I feel like I'm inspired every day. Means
fantastic.
It's not that inspired. I work with machines, and every day I sleep with the electron manuals on the side of my bed. I dream with machines, and I wake up in the morning and I start to, okay, I want to experiment this new thing from the Octatrack that they just are great. And so it's coming like this. For me, it's more like experimentation that become a track, and then finally it's a track.
Okay.
And of course, sometimes, like everyone, I feel not so inspired, but when I'm not inspired, I go to the machine to learn the machine, and finally it's coming out from there something that becomes a track. And yeah, and of course the sport. When I can say to everyone, not to all the new producers that want to start, it's super important to not to be only focused on making music. Sport and unplug and reset your brain is super important for inspiration.
Yes.
Take a walk, run, jump, anything. Go to the countryside, to the beach, will reset your brain to make probably better music.
Of course.
So yeah, I have both. I'm super inspired every day, and when I'm not, I go to surf and I come back and I'm inspired. So I'm all day thinking about music, about how to make this and that. I mean, you know what I mean.
Perfect. Of course. It's incredible how you can recharge your battery when you go in the nature. And yeah, I think surf, it's a very good way to be.
Yeah, definitely. It's a super reset. And another thing, of course, is listen to a lot of music.
Of course.
I listen to a lot of music, not only electronic music. That, of course, I'm a music lover. I like from bossa nova to jazz, from jazz to dub, everything. I listen everything, classical music. I get super inspired to listen to Bach or Mozart, even if you are not a super knowledge of the classical music. You can. I get a lot of inspiration listening, for example, classical music, the way the arpeggios, how they did everything. So I get inspiration listening music, this for sure. I love listening to other artists, and I love listening all kind of music. And this is super important for producing, I think.
I totally agree with you. I'm exactly like you in this way. I listen, and I have a background of completely different stuff from jazz or more classical or more world music. And yes, it's very important to listen and be inspired.
It's funny, sometimes I have like a small chats with some younger friends that they want to produce and blah, blah, blah. And I say, listen, if you listen to a song made in Nigeria by Fela Kuti, or for example, by any amazing African musician.
Of course.
If you listen to the groove or the drums, if you listen to the bass lines, it's not so different from electronic music.
No.
Something that people think like, I mean, everything is coming from there. The roots are coming from the music that they play years from classical, from Africa, ethno music. So for me, it's only a change because now we produce this with machines.
Exactly.
But the trance from the drums, the bass lines, the jazzy, the arpeggios, everything is embedded. Electronic music was only a new expression of doing that with new machines for me. And of course, to go further with experimentation. But for me, it's all the same. I mean, I get trancy with super, Fela Kuti or any good jazz musician from the 50s. I can get in trance. So for me, the music must be something that brings you to a trance situation for dancing, and this is not only electronic music. So
can you tell us one machine that you really like the most, or a plugin? I don't know, maybe you use both.
Yes, I try to use both, but now I'm a electron lover. I have the first mono machine, a machine drum. I bought this. They are still here, and definitely Octatrack is one machine that can bring your music to the next level because of the so many new ways of transform sounds.
Okay,
you can go to the next level. When I decide to make a track with my octa track, like starting with the octa track as a main and then adding scenes and everything, normally my tracks are more interesting because of the way you can twist, and it's so modern, so advanced. The finally electron are the machines for me. Then of course I love all the classics, like Moog, Sub 37, all the classics. But the octa track is something super hard to learn. It's Electron. This is the reason not many people like them, because they are difficult. You need to learn too many things to feel comfortable. They are not intuitive, but once you get the way to work with them, boom, make explosion. So most of my tracks I've done with octa track. Sorry, you asked me for a plugin. Yeah, I use not many, but some Arturia. I love Arturia. There is one called Diva that I really like. This is another thing I can say. It's not good to have. In the beginning, when I was starting, I used to have like 69 synths, 52 drum machines, and 21 vocoders. So you were like, you are laughing because you did the same. Everybody did the same.
It's always
you are a pirate. You don't pay anything. This is super sad for the industry.
Exactly.
So you start making plugins, and then you make a track, and you have 7 scenes, 27 channels, and this is super crazy. So now for me, it's less is more. My music is done. Normally, all my tracks are more than 10 I say in English, 10 I forgot.
It's track.
Tracks, yeah. Less is more,
Less is more is the key, but it's one of the most difficult things for me. And about track, when you decide one of your track is finished.
Another thing that I learned after so many years is don't go too crazy. Like, after so many years, your mind have a way of thinking when you produce. So for me, first day I have the composition and the arrangement. Second day, I try to put all the parts together. Here, I like this, there, blah, 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 blah. Third day, I decide it's done. I try to do the mix down, everything in level, but I'm not the kind of producer that is 1 hour with a kick. Boom, boom. I'm not like this. I have friends like this. I have friends that they need to be 1 day with a kick to find the perfect kick. Yeah, but then maybe they forget that now you need the perfect synth, and then you need the perfect breakdown, and you need so much for music must not be perfect. Many of the hits we dance, I'm sure they didn't spend weeks with one kick drum. Sometimes the music is more,
of course,
emotional. It's more like a vibe, something that went out, of course. And then you have producers that they sit down in a big studio and they spend 6 months to do an album. This I respect, but I'm not kind of like this. I'm more like, okay, this sounds good. For me, it's okay. Breakdown is okay. I'm super focused always in how to go out from the breakdown. That I think one of the most difficult parts of producing electronic music in a cool way. And then decide, okay, this is done. And when I finish, I don't listen anymore.
Okay.
Only when they are released, or I play them on a podcast because I want to play song unreleased, but I don't listen to my music. It's like, okay, this baby is done. It's for you. Bye. Another thing. I'm like this fast.
It's one more time, it's very interesting to know, and it's very inspiring. So thanks a lot for this one too. And the last one is an advice to a beginner producer. If you give one good advice, what you say?
Get ready to lose all your girlfriends or boyfriends. Yes, this in a funny way.
Of course.
Yeah, this is the real life. The other advice is take your time. This is a really long way. Try not to think that you are gonna be the new start in 2 days. And of course, super important, try not to copy. Try not to sound like. This is the problem we're having now in the industry. Most of the artists, they sound a bit a clone of a clone of a clone of a clone. And I think the artists that are really giving something new or a twist in a fresh way are the ones that are getting more attention. Yes. Because now it's a lot of music, really good music, but it's super heavy. For example, for me, every time I open every day the inbox to listen to the promos, and I love it. I love it. There's so much good music, but you put them together, and if I close my eyes, I think it's the same artist. The same artist. It could be the same. Okay, this guy could be this, and this one could be this. And I know it's super difficult try to make to invent a new style. But what I mean is super important, try to be yourself. Influence, of course, you can get influenced by Inelea, yeah, because you love how he does the melodies. He's super good on that. Yeah, you can get influence. I can get influence, of course. Yes, but I always run away from listening how they do or how they sound. I'm not interested in that. I enjoy the music from them, from all my friends, of course, but I'm focused on my thing. Even if sometimes I get rejected, maybe I'm getting too long, but I want to explain this to the young guys if they see the interview. I get rejected so many years because my music was too strange. They were saying, whoa, super good, but it's a bit strange. Or this is super interesting, but this is too strange. And this is super good, but yeah, it doesn't fit because, and this was super hard because every time I finish tracks, I send it over and no. Yeah, we really like, I love it. Yeah, we love it, but no. And one day, boom. One day they start to understand. And yeah, you get in a sweet position that now people listening to you as an artist, we're sending them a bit more conceptual music or more personal. And this is the key. So this is what I will say to a young people trying to be into production, try to be yourself and wait and get passion because you're going to get rejected so many times. This is the thing, be yourself and don't move from there because if you move, you are lost.
Of course.
I don't know if I explained right.
Oh, very, very good. It's a feeling that I had a lot of time, a lot of moments in the past. I totally agree with you with this feeling to find yourself. It's not easy to find a way and start to trust in my ideas. It's hard because sometimes it's super hard, but it's a very, very good advice you say to all the persons that are.
I for many years, well, in my case, I always knew my music was a bit more different because I'm a bit more crazy. I take risks. I don't care how the people is gonna think. I do my thing. And yeah, it's super hard because when you get rejected from a label, you start thinking that your music is not good enough.
Of course.
And then you have a problem with how you produce the next track. If they didn't like this, maybe I should be more normal or more groovy, or I should be less experimental. And I decide, fuck off. I'm myself. I'm sorry, maybe we can't say this, but I'm myself. I can run away from myself. And this is the music I produce. And when I realized that, everything came together. Like Golden Teacher with Innervisions, everything, boom. Okay, now people understand, respect, and now I'm free. So I'm super happy now because I was like, okay, I will not change my style because of the labels. And one another important thing, and last tip, and I finished like I did, when all the labels say no to you, you know what you need to do? Open your label.
Exactly. Kinesen Records was open with a friend of me and myself exactly for this reason. because we say to yourself, we start to just give for free our music, all the things that the others reject, we offer. And the project started in this way.
I did the same with Mumbai Records. It was like, okay, nobody likes, okay, I will open my label. Yeah, super happy now. Mumbai is working good. It's distributed by Muting the Noise, that is super cool distribution. Fantastic. From Dixon and Ame and the Innervisions family. So yeah, this is the tip. Believe in yourself. If you get rejected, open your label, and yeah, and keep calm. Everything will come.
Exactly. Fantastic. Yes. Alex, many thanks. It's
welcome.
Amazing to hear all these things. And I hope to have you soon for another episode of Morning Talks.
Anytime, I really enjoy it.
Nice, fantastic. I'm happy that you are happy. It's the most important for me. Just one thing to all the people that are looking to us. Don't forget to check all the links below. Go to listen the amazing tracks of Alex. His music is fantastic. So one more time, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Gracias a ti.
Mi placer. Mi placer. Say my Spanish.
Thank you very much. Yeah, let's keep in touch. And yeah, as I say, a pleasure. In these lockdown days, well, finally you feel comfortable speaking even through Zoom about music. It's nice. And yeah, as you see, I can be talking about music for hours with you.
It's perfect.
So nice. Yeah, this was
we will do a second one for sure. It's perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we will come back with a new episode with
a new episode. Yeah, fantastic.
So, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And see you soon.
Good morning. Speak soon. Gracias. Ciao.
Mucho placer.
Un placer.
Placer. Cut.